Hey YouTube, it's Adrian. Just before we get you to this video, do me a favor and head over to pageantlaunch.com. We are starting the world's first dedicated pageant review site, and I would love for you to join our launch team. All you need to do is put in your email address. It's completely free. We are looking to make a pageant industry that is safe, transparent, and fair. I know it's like that most of the time, but over the last year, it's become very evident that it's not like that all of the time. So head over to pageantlaunch.com, put in your email address, and let's get you to this.
Hi, I'm Nancy Hodgson, Miss Teen Great Britain 2019, and this is my interview with the Pageant Project.
Hey everyone, it's Adrian from the Pageant Project, and I have Miss Teen GB 2019, Nancy Hodgson. Nancy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start with, I'm in the car because I still don't have internet. Where are you at the moment?
Well, I'm in a car park in somewhere by London. I have no idea where I am right now, to be honest. It was unforeseen, so hence the terrible lighting and everything. So we got there in the end.
I'm assuming you're coming back from Miss World, is that correct?
Yeah, so we did actually plan to come home last night, but we lost the car keys. So we ended up having to stay with the security man until about 12 o'clock last night looking for the keys, and then we ended up in a hotel. No pajamas. We got a taxi to Morrison's, I think it was, and got pajamas, and it was a crazy night, but we're finally on our way home. We found the keys. So
Oh, dear me. Okay, where to begin? Where were the keys?
they were basically we went out and went back into the car, and then I wanted to sneak in with my my crown. And we came back in, and I got a picture with the CEO of Miss World.
Right.
I was absolutely starstruck. And then we came back out, went to get in the car, and realised we didn't have the keys. Yeah. So we went back in, and the auditorium was shut. So we ended up looking everywhere, and they were on the top of the seat where we put everything down. So
Wow.
it was a crazy night. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say we lost the keys, it was you or was your mum?
My mum. If you're watching this right now, Mum, it's your fault.
So
Yeah.
you definitely had a bit of an adventure then. I mean, apart from the whole trauma of losing your keys and all that stuff, how was Miss World itself? Because obviously it was just last night. So how was it?
It was amazing, absolutely amazing. I've only ever watched national pageants, so Galaxy, Teen GB, and etc. But Miss World was like a whole nother ball game. I don't know if you know, there's some in the UK we have a show called The Chase, and the man who's the presenter walks past me, and I'm like, "Hi, you're all right," and he's like, "Hi, you're all right." And when you've seen someone on the telly, you kind of know them.
Yeah.
And I went to my mum, I was like, "That's the man off The Chase," and I've just said hi to him and not even asked for a picture. It was just so funny because then you have Piers Morgan on stage and Peter Andre, and it was just so strange.
I saw a lot of the stories with Peter Andre in it, and it's really quite funny because I think like this is probably before you were born or when you were very young was when Peter Andre, at least in Australia, was a big thing. Like that song that everyone was quoting, "Mysterious Girl," that wasn't even.
That's the one he sang.
I know that wasn't even. I don't think it was in the 2000s. That was back in the 1990s. So is he still like a big recording artist in the UK? Because in Australia we haven't heard of him like in 20 years.
Well, I'll be honest, I didn't realise he was Australian. Mum was like, "Is he Australian?" I'm like, "No, he's English." And yeah, he's Australian, but I think he's I haven't seen much of him, but everyone knows who Peter Andre is with Mysterious Girl. So he's big in the UK. Well, I thought he was. So, and all the ladies on CW was getting a few woos in that area in there. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's hilarious. I thought he was Australian, but then when he was performing at Miss World, I figured, well, they wouldn't get an Australian to perform in London for Miss World, so I figured actually he was English. So I thought the opposite of you. I thought he was Australian, and then I saw him performing there going, he must be English, because all of you guys are going crazy for him. Whereas if he performed here, I actually don't think most people would remember who he is.
See, that's so strange. I did think he was English. I honestly didn't think he was Australian. Really.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't say I'm the biggest Peter Andre fan. I'm probably not the right demographic, but I remember his song "Mysterious Girl" when it was on the TV here in the music video. And let's just say, I think the girls liked him not because of the music, but for other reasons. But let's move on. So, guys, I can see a lot of you watching. All of you watching still have Miss World hangover like Nancy, although you probably didn't lose your key. So if you have any questions for Nancy, put them in below and I will pass them on. I think it's the first time I've done an interview from a car and my other person has been in a car. Oh, Nancy has just, hang on, you've blown up. Let me see if I can fix you. Sorry, it's probably just a video. You've shrunk. Okay, Nancy, the first question, I guess, is the easiest question is, can you give us an idea as to your pageant background? Because by now I've interviewed people who've done one pageant, people have done over 30 pageants. So can you give us an idea as to how you got into pageantry and what your pageant experience has been so far?
So I've only actually competed in Miss Teen Great Britain. That's the only pageant I've competed in, and I think I was, just one of them random searches on the internet, and Miss Teen Great Britain popped up, and I was like, oh, what's this? I'll just enter it. And I entered it, turned up to finals, and everyone was wearing crowns. I was like, oh my God, these girls are crazy. That was my first reaction. And then I did the PJ party, and I just fell in love, absolutely in love, and placed top 8 my first year, and I had no idea what I was doing.
Wow.
I bought my fashion wear from Next the day before the pageant, and was just like, yeah, let's do this, and fell in love, and then competed last year in junior, and then placed second,
Mm-hmm.
and then this year we're aged up to teen, and obviously won. So any girls out there who are scared about aging into teen miss, if I can do it, you can.
How did you find it aging up? So, I mean, this was your first time competing as a teen and you took it out. So to you, did it feel basically the same or was it a very different experience?
In some aspects, it was a little bit different. Obviously, at the junior, we have the little misses, so it's all like the littler girls. But it was pretty much the same. I didn't feel like any intimidation or anything like that. It was just like, there were little misses. We moved up, but I felt like even at junior last year, I'd kind of aged up, and I was sort of at the end of the junior, the spectrum. So it didn't feel much different, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't surprise me because you would have been in the same system and you have the same pageant girl family surrounding you. So I'm sure it felt a little bit different, but maybe not as different as, let's say, doing teen in a completely different system. I think that would have been a bit of a different story.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to circle around to the questions, Nancy. So, guys, again, if you have any questions for Nancy, put them in below. So, Yasmina Newbold has said, how long have you been doing pageants? And it says from Little Miss Teen GB with an X.
Hi. So I've been doing pageants for 3 years. So when I won, that was my third attempt at the title. So I'll be kind of nearing towards my 4th year by the time I hand over. So yeah.
Nice. And Sandal Taylor has asked, what was the best part of your journey so far?
See, that's a really hard question because each little part of my journey has been amazing, and every single experience and opportunity has just been amazing. So I'd say best part is definitely my family's the support and their reactions to when I won really just got to me, and it was just so nice to be able to go and make them proud. And we come from quite a pageants don't exist where we live basically, right. So it was nice to kind of make them proud, and for me that was the best part, and having them be proud of me and doing the family name well.
How do you feel you've changed? I mean, you mentioned you've been doing it for about 3 years, and for most people, doing pageantry even for 1 year changes them a lot. At your age, people in general change a lot. So, at your age, and given that you've been doing pageantry for 3 years, how do you think pageantry has helped you grow?
Pageants have completely changed me, and I mean like completely. When I first started, I was so shy, and I know you probably hear this a lot, but I had zero confidence. And each year, I just felt myself getting better and better in myself. And for me, it was never a competition against anyone else. I was not only competing with these girls, but I was competing against myself to be the best version of me. And I feel like each year I've felt myself grow and improve. And even if I wouldn't have took the title in October, I still would have been proud in the growth between each year. And I look back at pictures now, you can even see it just in the way you're standing and stuff like that. But pageants honestly changed my life, and honestly don't know where I'd be if I hadn't done them. So I'm so grateful for that accident search on the internet. So yeah, everything happens for a reason. I'm a strong believer in that.
I don't think I've seen a photo of your winning moment. Can you describe your winning moment? Because your predecessor, Imogen, bless, famously cries all the time. So how was your winning moment?
See, I thought I always imagined, you sit in your room, you're like imagining what that moment would be like when you win, and then for me it was just shock, absolute shock. And Imogen actually said, "Never hear me so quiet," because I don't struggle to talk, to say the least. So Imogen was like, "This is the quietest I've ever heard you," because I couldn't physically speak. Everyone was going, "How do you feel?" I was just, on all my pictures, the way you had the lovely crown and pictures, mine's just like on every single picture. Honestly, I was so shocked, and it didn't hit me for at least a month, and I still look back at pictures now like, oh my god, that's actually me. I actually won.
It's you.
So,
it's definitely
yeah.
you. What are you most excited about for your reign? I know it's just started. It's coming up to Christmas. Are there any particular parts that you're really super excited about?
Well, I'm excited for the whole year. I've got lots of plans. Mostly, me and my mum will be traveling to Marrakesh.
Oh wow!
And we usually go there because we have Moroccan roots. So when we travel down there, we have friends in the valley, and we go and we visit the children and really make an impact in that way. And it's always been something like a highlight, and something that's so amazing to do. So it'll be really nice to go as Miss Teen Great Britain this year and be able to make the children's days a little bit brighter and a little bit happier. Even at Miss World on the weekend, I had a huge tribe of just little boys coming up asking for pictures, and they were like, one looked up to me and was like, a little girl even, and was like, "You're so pretty, I want to be like you." And I honestly, when people do that, I get so emotional. This is where I do cry. And it's a lovely feeling. And so I'm really excited to just get out there as much as I can and do everything and make the most out of this title as I possibly can. So I'm excited for everything. I've got so much planned, but I don't want to give away too much at the minute. So
when they come up for photos, you don't cry then, do you? Because then you've ruined all their photos because you have a crying face on.
Honestly, it's more of an inside cry.
Oh.
So it was kind of like, because at Miss World you're not meant to wear a crown, so I kind of just sneakily put it on to get one picture, and the next thing there was like a tsunami of people. All the Filipino fans are just amazing at Miss World, the banners and everything. So I had a lot of Filipino fans coming over and was like, "Can we take a picture?" And I was like, "Yeah," but like a celebrity. But yeah, so don't cry on the pictures, cry inside.
you might have to teach Imogen that tip. She's not very good at controlling the tears. Speaking of Imogen, I was just looking at the history of who's won Miss Teen GB, and at least from my journey through UK pageantry, it strikes me that Miss Teen GB has had really, really big names win. Like all of them have gone on to, I mean, start with Emma, who's probably the earliest winner that I know. And I don't know the exact order, but Ashley Wilde I've interviewed. She's about to go overseas as well. Evangeline, I think it is, or Evangeline, she's just announced that she's a finalist for Miss International UK. Then obviously Imogen before you. And Imogen was saying when she was on our podcast that when she was competing in her year and Emma Collingridge walked in, everyone was like, oh my God, that's Emma. And then this year when Imogen walked in, she noticed that people were sort of fangirling over her. So does it feel to you like you're joining a really sort of proud line, like a lot of girls who've gone on to do really, really big things?
It's a great honour. I was we got the picture, you know, you put the crown on the next girl's head, and I looked at all the girls and I was like, I am so proud to be a part of that, and the opportunities and what these girls have went on to do, it just shows how many doors the Miss Teen Great Britain organisation opens up. And so I'm really excited to hopefully, you know, I can't believe I'm actually a part of the sisterhood, but to go on, and you know, it's just so surreal and amazing. I'm just really humbled to be a part of it. And you've always got to, you know, stay humble and stay grounded and remember who helped you on your way to there. And it's just amazing, really. And yeah, the girls are all absolutely amazing. What they've gone on to do. So they are, for me, quite a big role model, and I look up to every single one of them and what they've went on to do. So yeah.
Do you feel any pressure at all, or any expectations to live up to that standard? Because I was just thinking, I don't normally ask this sort of question, but I've just never seen, because it was that photo that you're talking about where you were all holding the crown of your predecessors. I'm just looking at it going, that is one amazing line. Do you feel any pressure at all to live up to that name?
I feel like it's easy to feel pressure, but personally for me, I'm a great believer in you have a destiny and you have a path that you are meant to go on to. So I don't feel under pressure because I know whatever my path is will, you know, ultimately match what these girls are doing. So I think that no, I don't feel under any pressure, which it is easy because the girls are absolutely amazing. But we all have our own paths that we're meant to go down, whether that is in the pageant industry or fashion industry or in a job. So yeah.
On Facebook, I don't know if this is your mum or a relative, but is it Elle Hodgson?
That's my sister.
That's your sister. Your sister has said she's so proud of you with a heart.
Thanks, Al.
So, guys, again, if you have any questions for Nancy, put them in the comments below. Of course, if you have messages of support, that's great as well. Nancy, can you give us an idea as to what you do outside of pageant land? Or I don't think I've ever met anyone. I mean, you might be the first, but I don't think I've ever met anyone who 24/7 is in pageant land. So, give us an idea as to what keeps you busy outside of the title and the sash.
Yeah, so I've always loved music since I was little, and for Christmas, I think quite a few years ago now, I got a saxophone, and since I got that saxophone, I always played the flute and everything, and just fell in love with it all. So for me, I have visions of, you know, playing at the beach clubs in Ibiza and stuff like that. So that's what I love to do in my spare time. And then, you know, I'm also really involved with my family. So we are a huge family. My nan is she has six children, which means so many aunties, cousins, everything. So we're always out together, and we're really, really close family. So I love them all a lot.
How many cousins do you have?
Oh my God, right. So this is just on my mum's side. I'd say around just first cousins, got to be about 12. Just first cousins, and then second cousins. I can't even count that out because there's so many.
And how many on your dad's side?
Oh God, that's a really tricky question. There's probably about 60.
60?
Yeah. First and second cousins, yeah, it's a really, really big family.
So, do you guys ever get together as a large extended family? You guys would need a hall. You're not going to fit in someone's house.
Well, Christmas Day is interesting because
Interesting.
all my cousins are around, 1, 2, that naughty toddler stage.
Oh,
so
God.
they all kind of gang up. We have Annie and Darcy, who my sister has right now. She'll be laughing at this. They're both 2, and they kind of gang up, and you'll go in one room and they've pulled every cushion off the couch and pulled every toy, every pen. So they're like an absolute tornado. So Christmas Day is interesting to say the least, but it's worth it. Yeah,
I can barely deal with one of them. I don't know how you can deal with more than one of them. That would be doing my head in. So, I mean, is it like a Christmas tradition? Do you have a giant family get together?
every single year without fail. My nan, she does a huge roast. She has starters with a soup, prawn cocktail, or cheese and crackers. So we all have little orders, and then we have the big table in the living room, and we all take it in turns because we can't even fit at the table. So yeah, huge family, huge Christmas dinner. What's not to love?
So your nan does the cooking for the whole thing, does she?
The whole thing, and then you'll see it as she's cooking. She'll pick little bits up, and we go, Nan, sit down and eat. She's like, I'm fine, a vet, because she'll just pick bits as she's cooking. Bless her, but she's so selfless. Honestly, she really is.
How does she manage to cook for so many people? I thought you'd need like a professional chef. Although I guess some nans, that's what they do. They can cook for a whole family.
She is a professional. After cooking every single day for all of us, she's just I don't know how she does it. I really don't. She's amazing, really amazing.
She sounds amazing. So out of the whole thing, what's your favorite dish? What's your favorite dish of your nan's to eat?
I'd have to say, even though I'm a vegetarian now, lasagna. I can't eat it anymore because I'm a vegetarian. But when I wasn't a vegetarian, that was my favorite dish. So
right, okay. Look, you can get vegetarian lasagnas. You can get them made.
Corn is the way forward. So anyone wants to be a vegetarian, get corn.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was a vegetarian, not even a vegetarian. I don't know if you know what a vegan is, but I was even past that. I was a raw foodist. So that is someone who doesn't eat animal products, but also doesn't cook. So it doesn't heat anything over 60 degrees. So, and I think there are some very good arguments to become a vegetarian at the moment, frankly. And it's not just for health; it's also, I think, good for our planet. So, how long have you been on the vegetarian diet for?
3 years. 3 years, I think.
Wow, okay.
I'm actually a vegetarian, so I still eat a little bit of fish because obviously it's a big change, isn't it? So
yeah,
I was kind of off and on, and my dad took me out one day after I just said I'm becoming a vegetarian and bought me a steak, and I ate it. But the reason I actually went vegetarian, I'm not scaring anyone. This is non-graphic. I was at a farm with my dad, and I was playing with the cows, the baby cows, and for about an hour later, and the lady comes over and she goes, "Oh yeah, they're getting sent off tomorrow." And I just went, "Oh, I can't eat animals anymore. I just can't do it."
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, if you go on Netflix, not to paint a graphic picture, but there are a lot of documentaries where you actually want to see what happens to the animals once they leave the farm. It's not difficult to find out, and I think anyone who is not a psychopath, if you watch that, you at the very least question whether you should be eating these animals. I don't know. I mean, in Australia, animal welfare is a huge deal, and I'd like to think most of our animals are treated well, even when they're being led to the slaughter. Sometimes they're not. We've had a few issues. I would imagine and hope in the UK it's the same because you guys are a little bit smaller. But in the US, where everything is sort of fed through a farm and these animals are just fed through a conveyor belt for the slaughter, it's actually pretty graphic and pretty terrifying. So if you want to be a vegetarian, it's horrible. I've seen some footage which I wouldn't recommend any children certainly to watch. I think late teens could watch it. It's not for the faint-hearted, and I actually think it's really scary that some people don't know where animal products come from. This is how I don't know whether you found the same thing, but it was actually in the UK. Jamie Oliver was asking people, where do you think sausages come from? And kids didn't realize that sausages, the meat sausages, come from animals because we're now so far removed from the farm, so to speak. So that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of the time it's tradition. It's kind of what people have grown up learning about, isn't it? So they've never experienced their parents' have always eaten meat. So for us, even for my family, only that my mum kind of, took a step back and had a little research into the health benefits of it, that I kind of was like, okay, maybe I should have a little look into this now, a bit more mature and stuff. And for me, I just couldn't do it anymore. But I understand. I'd never ever, if someone wants to eat meat, because I used to eat it, and it's so easy just to say, I don't like vegetables, or it's hard. It's really hard, and sometimes even if you've been eating meat your whole life, to then stop is just it's really hard, isn't it?
It is, but I mean, like, as I'm sure you found out, there, like, a lot of people, when they think of vegetables, it's like overcooked Brussels sprouts or lettuce leaves with, I don't know, like a salad dressing on it. You can make vegetables taste amazing with just a little bit of work. Like, it's not that hard, right?
Yeah, my mum literally, she's gonna be laughing now. She gets an aubergine and she slices it really thin and puts the seasoning on it and crisps it really, really, really burnt, and it doesn't even taste like a vegetable. And also, did you know that jackfruit can be made to taste like chicken? Have you tried that?
I don't think I've tried jackfruit. I know what it is, but how on earth do you make it taste like chicken?
Well, see, right, this is a story now. I go to is it Frankie and Benny's? Yeah. And I get the weirdest pizza topping. So I get no cheese, barbecue base, pineapple, mushroom, and barbecue jackfruit.
I don't know. Is that technically a pizza? There's no cheese. It's not.
It's basically bread with pineapple on, but and the jackfruit is it's like shredded, so it tastes like meat, and it's barbecue, and it's just. I know it sounds disgusting, but it is really, really nice.
No. To me, it doesn't taste disgusting. Maybe to other people watching it, it sounds disgusting. But to me, because I've tried a lot of weird and wonderful things, I'm actually really curious to try it. But I can't say there are any pizza chains here that sell that offer jackfruit as a topping. The topic of pineapple on pizza is one that will split a room. There are things you shouldn't talk about. You shouldn't talk about politics. You shouldn't talk about money, and you shouldn't talk about pineapple on pizza because that's.
I honestly get slated for pineapple on pizza. All my friends disgusted me, and I'm sorry, but it's just my personal preference.
Well, I think having pineapple on pizza, I believe it's considered quite an Australian thing. But ironically, I don't like pineapple on pizza. So maybe you're more Australian than myself. I'm just going back to the comments. Oh, hello. Guys, if you have any questions, pass them on. I can just see Imogen is watching. So hi, Imogen. So just on the vegetarian thing, what is your favorite vegetarian dish?
I really can't decide.
Do you have a few ones that you like?
Yeah, so I love my mum makes this creamy pasta, like this risotto, that's not pasta. This risotto with mushroom in. I'd have to say that. Yeah,
That
I have so many.
that does sound nice. Is it raining where you're at? I mean, it's a UK. I'm going to assume the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It rains every day in the UK. Every day. every night.
No,
I think I'm going to move to Australia.
I'm asking now because I can actually hear the rain. It actually sounds like it's quite loud. It's kind of soothing, but I prefer the sun.
Yeah. It was lightning when we were driving up on our way, so
Oh, wow.
we were just hoping we didn't get electrocuted, but we're still here, still going.
My house was last year. This year we lost the internet because there was a freak cyclone or tornado. Last year a lightning bolt actually struck near my house, and it came up through the internet line and blew up my computer. Without exaggeration, I was lying on the couch sleeping near my computer, which I shouldn't do, but I was just exhausted. And I just vaguely, in my peripheral vision, just saw my computer explode in a shower of sparks.
Oh my god!
So that was my story. That was terrifying.
Well, it's a good job that you weren't using it, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess I never actually thought of it that way. That's a good point. I was obviously just super annoyed that my computer had been randomly blown up by a lightning strike. That's not something you hear every day. Nancy, just before we go to the final 10 questions, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to or say thanks to just for supporting you along your journey, pageant and otherwise?
So I'd like to do a shout out to Sophie McSween, and right at the beginning of my crazy pageant journey, she was the one who reached out to me and helped me, and I honestly don't think I would have even made the first year of finals if it wasn't for her. So Sophie, if you're watching this, thank you so much, because honestly, anyone who knows Sophie knows she's an absolutely amazing girl, and she didn't have to help me the first year. She did that because she's just a lovely person. So I'm really grateful, Sophie.
Perfect. And just before we go to the final 10, Danny Lee Sprout, sorry if I've mispronounced that, she's asked, Nancy, what's your plans for your next pageant with an X?
So at the minute, I haven't got any ideas. I'm just really enjoying my year as Miss Teen Great Britain.
Of course.
It's 3 years that I absolutely grown to love this pageant, and I've wanted this title so much. So now I have it. Everyone keeps asking, and I'm like, no, I'm not giving it up. I'm not handing over. So don't enter Miss Teen Great Britain. Joking, enter early. But I've got a few ideas, but nothing's set in stone at the minute.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, you've pretty much just won the title, so I think it might be a bit too early to be asking what's the next one around the corner. I mean, Imogen is taking a bit of time off. I think she was similar to you in terms of competing at Miss Teen GB a few times, and obviously then she won the title in the last year that she was eligible, and now she's taking a bit of well-deserved time off. But Nancy, let's move on to the final 10 questions. Do you know what the final 10 questions are? I always like to ask.
No, but I feel like I'm about to find out.
Okay, all right, here we go. Number 1, what is your favorite word? I can just hear the sound of rain in the background. Say again?
Clothes.
I don't know if that's your favorite word. It sounds like your favorite thing to go and buy.
My mind's gone blank. I can't think of a word that oh, I know. Zen, that's my favorite word.
Why is that your favorite word?
Because I like to zen out, so I do yoga and meditation all the time, and in college my friend Abby always gets stressed, and I just say zen, calm. So that's just kind of my thing now. I just zen everyone out. At finals, me and a few of the girls were stressed, and I said, come on, let's go and zen. And they were like, what? I was like, just come with me. And we sat in a corner, and we were all meditating, doing yoga and breathing exercises. So Karina and Holly were looking at me like, what are they doing? But we're zenning out, okay? Zen.
They were probably shocked that you guys all stopped talking, because I can't imagine that Miss Teen GB is a very quiet venue.
It is very loud. The girls come first, and we're all like, shy, hi, really quiet. And then after about 5 minutes, we don't stop talking.
Yep. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Question 2. What is your least favorite word?
Phlegm.
Yeah. That's a good choice. I think someone has answered that question with that answer before. The typical answer seems to be moist. That's the most common answer, but I do think
that's my second favorite word.
Fair enough. In life, this is question 3. What gets you excited, or what turns you on?
Leaving my comfort zone, and every time you get that, that sort of anxiety, like, oh, I don't know, I shouldn't do it, and you just push past that and do it anyway. That feeling after, and when you've done it, is just like, gives me such a rush. Pageant is kind of like leaving your comfort zone all the time, so
yeah, getting that adrenaline buzz. Question 4. What turns you off?
Rude people.
That's a very common answer. I hope you don't have to deal with them very often.
Yeah, I mean, with rude people, I think all you can do is smile at them and give them back kindness, because if anything, that might bug them more. So, the only thing that just upsets me is when I see someone being rude to someone who won't say, defend themselves. And so I feel that it's my duty to kind of, make sure they're okay. So be nice. It's nice to be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Question 5. What sound or noise do you love?
Well, I actually love the sound of rain. The rain.
Yeah, you're going to be loving it at the moment, because that's all I can hear is a sound of rain. I mean, it sounds fairly heavy though.
Yeah, bit distracted now, but it's quite soothing. Yeah, I quite like it.
I think it's soothing when you're lying in the bed under your duvet. I don't know if it's soothing when you're driving a car trying to get home. And you live how far away from home are you at the moment? You said, 5 hours?
So we've drove an hour and then stopped to do this. So I'd say about 4 hours away now.
Oh dear. Okay, we
9 a.m. start in the morning too.
Oh dear. Okay, let's shoot through the rest of these, because you actually, that's what I just remembered. You need to actually finish getting home. Okay, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about my mum.
What sound or noise do you hate?
I hate the sound of people spitting after they've brushed their teeth. I can't brush next to someone. I just can't do it. I honestly can't.
Yeah, that's not a very pleasant sound for anyone, I think. Question 7. If you could have any one superpower, what would you pick and why?
To transport, to go from one place to another, because then I'd travel the world in a month.
Yeah, you also wouldn't be stuck in your car with 4 hours to drive home. You could just,
Yeah, but I could click my fingers right now and be home, and we wouldn't have the rain being really annoying. So.
Exactly. Question 8. If you could try any one occupation other than your own, what would you most like to attempt?
Well, I'm in college at the minute, but I have aspirations of working with children with developmental disabilities, and it's just such an amazing job. I've always wanted to do it, so I'd click right there and skip all the university and everything. So yeah, that's what I'd do.
Perfect. What about what job or occupation other than your own would you definitely not like to attempt?
A teacher. I'd hate being a teacher, honestly. I can't shout at people, and I just wouldn't be taken seriously. That's all I'll say.
Why wouldn't you be taken seriously? You can't stop laughing.
Yeah, basically, I think I'd just either that or I'd cry. One or the other. No, not the job.
Okay. I mean, you could probably teach little kids like that. They might find you endlessly entertaining, but I definitely wouldn't be trying to teach teens if you're laughing and crying.
anything up to year 6, I'd be happy with. But when it gets to high school, I've been in a few classes before where the children aren't very nice with the teacher. I
Yeah.
can say that. That's okay.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Okay, final question. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I'd like to hear him say, "You did a good job. You're a good person." That's all. In my life, the only thing I really care about is not where I live, what job I have, anything like that. It's just that I've been a good and decent person, and I think if we're all just strive to be just that little bit nicer
Yeah.
and be kind to someone and make their day a little bit brighter. I think that's the only thing we can do as human beings. And we all make mistakes, but at the end of the day, if you smile at someone, you could honestly change their day. So
Yeah. I think coming up to Christmas, that's a good reminder as well.
yeah, definitely, 100%.
Just finally on Facebook, Cherry Lee Clark has said, "So proud of you, Nancy." I think she's meant to. She's put looks like a sad emoji, but I think it's meant to be it's crying with like joy. But it's got a sad one and a heart. And Chloe Roberts has said, "We love you, Nancy," with 2 X's.
Oh, love you girls. Thank you so much.
All right, Nancy, I better let you go so you can get your mum back in the car and start your drive home. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And look forward to following your reign and everything that you get up to. So I'll keep you on the line for just a second. I'm going to hang out with the audience, thank them for watching, and we will speak to you guys soon.
Hey guys, it's Adrian again. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and remember to head over to pageantlaunch.com and join the launch team for our pageant review site. All you need to do is put in your email address. Thanks, and speak to you next time.